Hi, Emily. Hi, Emily.
You spelled her name wrong.
Yeah, you did.
Oh no, I did. She's gonna be mad.
You erased it.
Shot down.
Still wrong.
She'll never notice.
She's still wrong. She's gonna be changed. Well,
all right.
through that.
So now we're going quadratic. Okay. Yesterday we did linear. You guys thought that was difficult. Good luck with this. Quadratic. What's the difference between a linear function and a quadratic function? Right. The quadratic function, the highest exponent is a squared. Okay. What do they look like? They look like parabolas. And then, of course, we can stretch them and squish them and shift them and things like that. So if you had y equals 1/2 x squared, what would the 1/2 do to the graph? It would shrink by 1/2. Okay, so all the all the y values would be half of what they were originally. How about y equals -3x squared?
Stretch by 3.
Two things going on. It would stretch by 3. Good.
It's a negative. Why? I don't know.
It would stretch by 3
And flip over the.
and flip over the x-axis.
How do you get to flip
Okay.
over your y-axis?
Well, usually you have to make the x. You have to make the x be negative. But the weird thing is that when you square the negatives cancel. And if you think about it, that makes sense. Because if I have this parabola right here, and I flip that over the y-axis, it's going to be the same as it was
You're basically
before.
just moving it.
No, it wouldn't change it unless it's been moved to the right or to the left, which is a little bit different. But what Ashley said is the main idea there. The way that you flip it over the y-axis is you make just the x be negative. If the whole thing gets switched to be negative, that flips it over the x-axis. Okay? Okay, so on that note, what? This Forrest is busy playing eraser tag. And y, yeah. All right, so number 3, y equals -x squared plus 3. It's flipped over the x-axis. No, because if it was flipped over the y-axis, it would look like this. It would be -x squared, and then like I said, that would just cancel out and be plain old x squared. You wouldn't even notice it. And then up 3. So flipped over x-axis and up 3. All right, and then the last one. Left 2, good. Even though it's +2, since it's inside the parentheses, it's left 2, up 1. Okay? She's not acting. She actually is. Okay, so just like the equations for lines had our standard form y equals mx plus b, parabolas, our quadratic equations have standard forms also. It is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? Unfortunately, since parabolas are a little bit more complicated than straight lines, you can't just look at it and say, okay, this is the slope, this is the, all that kind of stuff. The only thing you know from this form right here is that is the y-intercept.
Yeah.
But to find the other stuff, you have to do some work. And the work that you have to do is get it into this form right here.
The C is y.
The C is the y-intercept. To know where the other things happen, you have to get it into the vertex form. And the vertex form looks like this.
I remember this from algebra.
y equals a times parentheses x minus h squared plus k. And the way that you find these two numbers when you have it written like this is you know that h is equal to negative b over 2a, which, yes, should ring some bells from your algebra. And k really is c minus AH squared. It just laid it on the book, so that was whoever threw it. That gets credit for that, not the catch there. That was a sweet toss. And then when you do that, then you know from this that the vertex of the parabola is at HK, and then you can go. All right?
That was like so long.
And I remember when
All right, so what we're going to do then is we're going to spend a little time today figuring out how to go from one form to the other. So if you have it in standard form, how do you rewrite it in vertex form? And if you have it in vertex form, how do you rewrite it in standard?
Please rewrite that as well.
Okay, what did you say? That is not in standard form. That is
Hold
an excellent observation. So what do we have to do to get it into standard form?
X squared to the left.
Okay, the x squared have to come first. So this has to be negative 3x squared plus 6x minus 5. So the x squared goes first, and then the x, and then the constant. Okay? And now it's written in standard form, and so you can tell me that a is equal to negative 3, b is equal to 6, and c is equal to negative 5. All right? So first thing we need to do to get it into vertex form is figure out what h is. So if you look in your notes, the formula for finding h is what? Negative b over 2a. So b is 6. Negative b is negative 6. A is negative 3, so 2a is also negative 6, so h equals 1. Okay? Now that we know what h is, we can use that to figure out what k is, because k is c minus ah squared. C is negative 5. A is negative 3, and h we figured out is 1, and 1 squared is still 1. Now you have to be just a little bit careful here with your order of operations. Students have a tendency to do this math first and then multiply. Do your multiplication first. So this is going to be negative 5, those cancel, make plus 3, so k is negative 2.
What about the square?
Okay. Well, 1 squared stays as 1. All right? Wow. So now we have all the information we need to write it in vertex form. Y equals, if you look at your notes, a, which is negative 3, times x minus h minus 1 squared plus k, which is negative 2. All right, so that's how you go from standard form to vertex form. You can also go from vertex form into standard form, and that way it's much easier, yes?
On the vertex form, it's the x minus h, so the positive is always going to be minus that.
Yes.
And then it's plus k, so only when
It'll be
it's
the
negative.
same, right, yes. So that's a good thing to recognize. And that relates to the fact that inside the parentheses does the opposite thing to the graph. So if h comes out to be positive, it's going to be minus. If h comes out to be negative, it's going to be plus. But this one moves it up and down, and so that one will always just stay the same.
Oh,
all right.
It will?
If k is positive, it's plus. If k is negative, it's minus.
Okay.
All right, so let's do the other way.
And then you add a to the
All right, so now we want to take that that's written in vertex form. Okay, I'll give it a second. It's written in vertex form and rewrite it in standard form. Any ideas?
Well,
Just work backwards from.
First thing you have to do is FOIL this here. Exponents come first, okay? So we need to figure out what x minus 2 times x minus 2 is.
x squared.
X squared.
4x.
Good. Minus 4x.
Plus 4.
Plus 4. Welcome to our class, Becca. You are a great addition.
Wait, I did.
Thank you.
Better go get your wings.
Okay, so first thing you have to do is FOIL out the parentheses stuff. Now what?
Are you starting backwards now?
Kind of going backwards, oh yes. Now what?
Well, you know, 2 is 8.
Distribute the 2. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times negative 4x is negative 8x. And 2 times 4 is 8. And then your last step is simple. Combine like terms, simplify the 8 minus 4 is just 4. So 2x squared minus 8x plus 4, and you're done. Okay? So to go from standard form to vertex form, you have to do use those formulas to figure out what h and k are, and then substitute those in. To go from vertex form to standard form, just FOIL, distribute, and simplify.
You explained that really well. Just throw that out there.
No,
Thanks,
go
dude.
back.
Because I didn't understand that last year.
Don't forget Patricia.
Patricia, watch this.
Oh,
You got it now.
We should have Fake Friday and watch our videos with Charles.
that'd be so boring.
That would be awesome.
Terrible.
That would be, but not get an assignment at the end of the day.
So it's fun to play.
Yeah, it's
not
not
that
that.
Yeah.
You didn't see it last night?
Why are you giving like $100? We watched the freaking green bag.
Sure.